What's up, everybody? Peace. How was y'all Tuesday going? Is it Tuesday? Yes, it is Tuesday. Um, March March the 8th. And as if you can see the title, uh, where pretty much where would be the landing spots for Amari Cooper after the Cowboys release him? And I'm saying this just going off of the sports media. Uh, sports media has been hyping it up. The smear campaign against Amari Cooper. Talking about that he's not a number one because of his yards and targets and whatever else, which is absolutely false. Shame on the Cowboys. Um, and just to talk to clear, he's going to be a cap casualty for the most part, is because the Cowboys are against the cap, and so he's going to be a casualty to release to be able to relieve the Cowboys of some cap space. And maybe he's not the only one. We might lose some other notable names that comes to mind on the Cowboys that might become free agents. We can talk about D Ware as well. Since he declined to renegotiate his contract. Okay, but we're not here to talk about D. I said D Ware. I meant D Law. Shoot, D Law. But we're not here to talk about D Law. I'm here to talk about Amari Cooper. And I said this some clips back. If you just go back and listen to my clips about this coming free agent in general. I mean, but particularly about Amari, you can go back and listen to it. One of my latest clips, and this is what I've said. That actually I'll be reiterating it for the third time right now. If we cut Cooper, we have just set ourselves back. I'm going to say at least another year of wasting talent and time of our players, because I don't think that CeeDee Lamb is ready to be a number one. Okay? Now, and keeping Cooper will open up a lot for CeeDee Lamb and Gallup if we decide to keep Gallup or whoever else is on the outside. Now, throughout this season, I have been campaigning that Coop is your number one because he can play all three positions, X, Y, and Z. He's the best route runner. He's an expert in route running. Okay? So, if you want to put CeeDee Lamb at one, put him in the X. Put him at the X. Put Cooper in the slot and keep Gallup or whoever else. I don't know if we're going to keep Gallup, but Malik Turner. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying we might not keep Cedric Wilson. Will we keep Noah Brown? I don't know. But Coop is the captain of the wide receivers. He is the number one out of all the wide receivers. And putting him in the slot just makes sense when you go back and look at the San Francisco game. The touchdown that Coop scored, he was in the slot. Coop will force their number one corner at times to play in the slot and have luck with that against a route expert. When you need to be hitting Coop on some crossing patterns, slants, you know what I'm saying, dig routes and all of that, and he will get yacked after that because his route running is smooth. And to sit here and say that, to smear his, have the smear campaign going on about Coop, you can go back and watch film. Coop is open a lot, even when bracketed. It's just the fact that you got to get it there on time and in the right window. You can't throw it too far ahead, or you can't throw it behind. It has to be on target. and that is something that Dak has to work on, and he has been having this issue since he's been in the league, is accuracy, and particularly in tight spots. And if Coop does leave, our Cowboys, they release him and don't try to work out anything. We put ourselves in the hole, honestly. And he wants to be a Cowboy. He wants to be. That's his team. And I guess you can say, okay, well, that's your dream team. That's the team you would prefer to go to. You grew up a Cowboys fan, whatnot. So you got to live it. And now we don't need you anymore, because now you're trying to, trump up these false claims of why he's not a number one receiver, which is not true, and which is why I've been griping with Kellen Moore on why y'all system doesn't adapt to the strengths of your players, your playmakers, guys that help us win the team, that help us win games against teams. So that's part of it. So here are some of my landing spots for Amari Cooper. I'm gonna go with number one because I want to say that for last, but no, I'm gonna go with that first. First landing spot for Amari Cooper, being a free agent, picking and choosing, have the option to choose on where he wants to go, and it will be a good team, most likely a team that's in contention to be in the playoffs. Number one, Green Bay with Rodgers, possibly Rodgers and Devontae Adams, if they decide to stay at Green Bay right now, because they are due for contracts. My number two landing spot, Baltimore Ravens. Now, you telling me having Mark Andrews and Amari Cooper, along with Lamar Jackson and that running game, J.K. Dobbins and whoever else they have running the ball, along with Hollywood Brown, along with and that could clear Brown up because Brown can stretch the field. Then you talking about what's his name, Bateman? He's a young bull that Amari can help him refine his game and help him upgrade his game and route running and whatnot, and Brown as well. But you talking about a Cooper and Andrews as a tandem, that'll be awesome. That will be awesome. My number three team, Atlanta Falcons. Now, Calvin Ridley couldn't deal with the pressure of being a number one. They saying mental health or whatnot. That's alleged. That's what they say. So, if that's the case, and you talking about putting him with the hybrid tight end slash wide receiver, I can't think of his name, that they drafted last year, the rookie from last year, and he showed splash plays. You talking about Amari Cooper. You talking about him, being an X-Man wide receiver, running back, punt returner, kickoff returner, whatnot, just being dynamic and explosive. And then if Atlanta shore up their offensive line, and so they can get Mike Davis running, Carolina should have never cut him. or traded him or whatnot. But that's their fault. Mike Davis is a serviceable back, and to good, and I think very consistent. So Atlanta needs to show up some things, because I think Matt Ryan showed me some things last year. I thought he was pretty much done, but I think he got some more in the tank. He just need the players. Simple as that at this current stage of his career. So if Atlanta can be able to land Cooper to go along with the rookie tight end / wide receiver Justin Gage, and the rest of their playmaking core, I think they could do some damage, to be honest with you. And I think Matt Ryan will look like the Matt Ryan of old somewhat. You know, he's still got that competitive fire in him. Okay, number 4 would be Washington Commanders. Now, Washington is in a very unique position because they are just one good to solid quarterback away. There's nothing against Taylor Heineke. I mean, Taylor Heineke could be the guy. He could be just enough. But then you add Washington's defense. You talking about Washington's defense with a quarterback, and they still got. I don't know if they got Ryan Fitzpatrick or they released him or not, but they could bring back Fitzpatrick after the injury. You know what I'm saying? That was a very serious injury. I think it was a hip injury at that. So you got to give that time to heal. And but you talking about Terry McLaurin and Amari Cooper, and I can't even think of the tight end name, but the former quarterback of Virginia Tech that turned into a tight end with the Washington Redskins. The Washington Commanders. That could be a scary team in the East. As I said at the beginning of the year, and I say this, I've been saying this since I've been doing YouTube. I've been watching it, that whatever team is in last place end up moving to the top, and that's what Philadelphia did this year. They made it to the playoffs. So you're talking about Washington or the Giants are looking to bounce back, because you remember Washington did it the year before. They ended up making the playoffs, right? They ended up making the playoffs, and we didn't. And so they are closing the gap. They're going to be closing the gap depending on what type of moves they make. Even the Giants, because the Giants can make moves in the draft, just like Philly can make with the right picks in the draft. They got 3 first-round picks. With the right moves in the draft, whether they trade out of 1 or 2 of them or whatnot to get what they want, then hey, Philly could easily take over. Giants could easily be more competitive. So we have definitely lost a window of opportunity this past year on how we didn't come through in the playoffs. How it led up to us not coming through in the playoffs that second half of the season. So we got Washington. My 5th spot for Amari Cooper would be the Miami Dolphins. No, I'm gonna make that 6. My 5th spot would be, who already gave praises to Amari when we did battle with them week 5 this past season. New England Patriots, smart, savvy wide receiver to go with a young stud quarterback. New England Patriots, and I can bump them up right behind Baltimore. You know what I'm saying, and push the Falcons and Washington down, because they are in contention. Even though they got the Buffalo has ascended in their division, and along with Miami. So I like Amari Cooper teaming up with Belichick and Josh McDaniels and Mac Jones. I like that. 6, Miami Dolphins. They had what, Preston Williams and Parker, and then they got Gesicki. They need a running back, and that's where I thought Tony Pollard might go. You know what I'm saying? That in San Francisco, whatnot. Uh, they definitely need a steady number one wide receiver, a more consistent wide receiver, because you team him up with Parker, man, and Parker can bowl. They thought it was going to be Williams, but that's not the case. Um, so him with Amari and Gesicki, that'll be a nice. And you talking about Tua Tagovailoa, you got him some weapons on both sides of the field that are dogs. So hey, that's my number 6, and pretty much number 7. It's staying with the Cowboys. It's Dallas. And Dallas got to be careful with what they do and how they do with the smear campaigning of these players, because that's going to turn around and bite them in the ass. And at some point in time. At some point in time, they keep doing this. As a matter of fact, Cowboys aren't the only ones that do it. Every NFL team does it. Every one of them. Look at Antonio Brown, even though rightfully deserved. But you just think of Deshaun Watson. These are all allegations. Just saying. But at the same time, there is somewhat of a smear campaign that goes on in the court of public opinion for them to give reason to release a player, and they did this with Dez Bryant. You know what I'm saying? Think about T.O. And go and so on. So this would definitely be a detriment to our offense. Our offense is predictable enough as is, and the system. You kept Jason Garrett's system. That's what Kellen Moore is running. Jason Garrett's system. It is not Kellen Moore's offense. Mixed in with Linehan, his mentor. And if the system doesn't know how to adjust, then the system needs to go. As simple as that. The system needs to be changed. It needs to be revamped. It needs to add in sprinkles and wrinkles and much more, because we talking about a death by 1,000 cuts. That's not it. I'm sorry. Just running 15 yards up the field and to clear out the tight end. Like, come on, man. Or just to run 7 yards and turn around. Come on, man. We're gonna see the same results if we don't see any elevation in our offensive coordinator or any help. If anyone provide any assistance or advice to our offensive coordinator, like the head coach. Matter of fact, the GM needs to be, if they keep Amari Cooper, needs to be saying, hey, you need to put Cooper in the slot and put CeeDee Lamb on the outside so he can get used to being a number one receiver. That's all I'm saying. I'm thinking it's a huge mistake. Cooper, I don't want to see you go. I know your worth and value on this team, and that you're a force multiplier when it comes to dictating coverage, because you allow CeeDee Lamb and the rest of the receiver core to get open to have one-on-ones while you take on the bracket coverage. So I get it, but if they decide to release you, my brother, do not hesitate. Matter of fact, a number 8, it'll be a long shot because they do have a nice receiving core. The Cincinnati Bengals, or Kansas City Chiefs. That's 9, and he can go for a 1-year deal. You know what I'm saying? 1-year deal to make this happen. Because he needs an offensive coordinator that knows how to use his talents, and he needs a quarterback that knows how to get the ball to him on time with accuracy so that you can get that yak. Because it makes no sense. This makes no sense at all. But anyway, guys, I've been on here for 20 minutes, 21 minutes to be exact. And I just kind of wanted to drop this in. It's been for weeks now, but it's the best time to just kind of chime in on this whole Amari Cooper situation and see where Amari Cooper is going to go. And it's a shame that it came down to this. Cowboys, I'm really holding the front office responsible for this right here. Because you're more worried about 2025 and 2024, 2025, 2023. You're more worried about the money and business instead of trying to put a product on the field that's going to win. That's going to take it all. And you need a guy like Cooper to be at the helm of your receiving corps. Because Gallup has missed too much time to be refining his game, and CeeDee Lamb is going to take him at least another season of grooming to become a number 1. And second of all, he has to be put in that position. You know what I'm saying? So you can still keep Cooper and just allow him to run all 3, X, Y, and Z. Because that's what CeeDee Lamb needs to know how to do. But I'm out here, Tone Setter Sports Channel. Peace. Hope you like the content. Hit like and subscribe. You know, it's not that hard. It's for free.